Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Keith Cerny, President and CEO of the Fort Worth Symphony Orchestra. The Symphony is very grateful to Dr. Eric Lee and all the staff at the Kimball Art Museum for our ongoing collaborations in the chamber music series and special events such as this one. On behalf of the Fort Worth Symphony Board Chairman Mrs. Mercedes Bass, and myself, we welcome everyone to the 24-25 season announcement. It's great to have you here and also our friends on the live stream. Today we have the great pleasure of announcing the third season of Robert Spano's tenure as music director of the Fort Worth Symphony Orchestra. And when you hear the planned programming, I know you will agree that the symphony is full of exciting performances, top-tier guest artists, an important world premiere, and significant artistic collaborations. I would also like to recognize the leadership and extraordinary generosity of Board Chairman Mrs. Bass and many other donors and corporate sponsors who have supported the Symphony so generously in these unprecedented times. We are truly grateful for your continued support. Before we announce the full season, I wanted to make a few general remarks. In developing the season, Robert Spano and I worked to bring some of the most exciting artists performing today here to Fort Worth. A central aspect of our artistic strategy is producing theater of a concert programs where we add projections, dance, lighting, and other elements to some of our symphonic and pops programming. Many of you will remember last October's production of Peter and the Wolf, conducted by Robert, which included a giant pop-up storybook created by the Old Trout Puppet Workshop from Alberta, Canada. This unique production was received by wildly enthusiastic audiences, many of them young, and off-the-charts single-ticket sales. As part of this theater of a concert strategy, we are also making more use of pre-performance videos of musicians and of living composers being featured in the program, and the response to these elements has also been very positive. I'd like to mention that the upcoming season marks the final year of two different three-year projects presenting new choreography of Stravinsky ballets commissioned by the Fort Worth Symphony and also works by Richard Wagner. On our POP series, we've evaluated many options to select the programs you will hear about today. You will see that we have incorporated works with strong visual components and expanded our popular movie with live orchestra series. The season also includes a world premiere by the acclaimed American composer Jake Heggie, who is with us today and will describe his new work later in the program. And now, please welcome Music Director Robert Spano to announce the first four symphonic programs of the 24-25 season. I will return afterwards to announce the remaining concerts on the symphonic series. Thank you.
Nice to see everybody. Of course, we get excited about the season as a whole, but then after planning it, and in the midst of planning, we're thinking about the next season and the next season. When we come back and look at the individual programs, I just get very excited about each one of them again, and it's nice that I can introduce the first concerts of the season with such enthusiasm, because I'm very excited about every one of them. September 6, 7, and 8 will be the opening week of the season. We're very fortunate to have the great violinist James Ennis joining us. He's playing the Sibelius Violin Concerto. We'll kick off the season with the Roman Carnival Overture of Berlioz, and then we'll be doing Tchaikovsky's Sixth Symphony. Later that month, Kevin Edisay, our wonderful principal guest conductor, is returning September 27, 28, and 29, where they will be performing Mozart's Don Giovanni, Zemlinsky's Sinfonietta, and Strauss's Alpine Symphony, which is literally climbing a mountain. In October, I'm back to do the Berlioz Symphony Fantastique, and we'll be featuring Alan Steele, our principal cellist, who's such a brilliant, shining star of the orchestra. He'll be playing the Schumann Concerto. And we'll have another featured orchestral member on that program as well, because Jake Fritkus will be featured in the Afternoon of a Faun of Debussy at the beginning of that program. Later in October, we're very happy to welcome back Jane Glover, who will be performing Britain's Suite on English folk songs, Ravel's Tombeau de Couperin, which again features another magnificent member of the Fort Worth Symphony Orchestra, our principal oboe. Mozart's Concerto 25 will be performed by Angela Hewitt, and the program concludes with Mozart's 31st symphony, known as the Paris Symphony.
Thank you, Roberts. And when we were rehearsing, I said to myself, well, Paris is a wonderful cue line to give me my cue to come back onto the podium here. Our next program on December 6th, 7th, and 8th features Robert conducting Beethoven's Eroica Symphony and a world premiere of a multidisciplinary work by acclaimed composer Jake Heggie entitled Earth 2.0. The work features the brilliant young countertenor Kimon Mura and Dancers for Urban Bushwomen, choreographed by Jawale Zolar. Here to tell us more about the work is the composer himself, visiting from San Francisco. Welcome, Jake.
Hi, everyone. It's so wonderful to be here and such an honor. I spend so much of my life in the opera house that to be invited into the symphonic world is a real treat. And in this occasion, really, really special. I've known Keith for many years, and he called and asked me if I would want to do something with the amazing Fort Worth Symphony and Robert Spano. He had my attention immediately. Who would not? And so we spoke on Zoom quite a few times, and they told me about this young singer, Kimon Mura, who identifies himself as a countertenor, but I'm telling you, this is a soprano. It's a male soprano with a voice unlike any I have ever heard, and I have heard some good ones and written for them. And so they said they'd heard Kimon and they wanted to give him a vehicle, something that he could use at the beginning of his career, because he has a huge career ahead of him, has been winning competitions, and will make his Met debut very shortly in April in John Adams' El Nino. And so they wanted some kind of a showcase, and I thought, well, what would that be? And I thought, he sings mostly Baroque music, and those are based on mythology. So what about something like a one-act monodrama or operatic experience with the orchestra, where it's based on mythology, but it's a modern telling of that myth? And they both really liked that. And so it was sort of figuring out, what are we going to do? So I had some meetings with Kimon on Zoom and on the phone. And he suggested a myth that he's very fond of is David and Goliath. And I thought, well, that opens up a lot of possibilities, because we're living through a lot of David and Goliath experiences even today. So how are we going to narrow this down? And mythology made me think of a writer who I've been yearning to work with for 30 years. Her name is Anita Amirzvani. She's an American writer born in Iran, and I've known her for 30 years because we both worked in the PR marketing department at Cal Performances at UC Berkeley back then, in the old days. And since then, I've gone on to write 10 operas, and she's written 2 unbelievably beautiful novels that are based in Persian mythology, The Blood of Flowers and Equal of the Sun. Beautiful storytelling and poetic language, been translated into 22 different languages. She teaches writing and literature to college and grad students, and she worked for years also as a dance writer and dance critic, and all of a sudden, dance. I thought about my friend Jawale Zolar and Urban Bushwomen. I just had my 10th opera premiered at the Houston Grand Opera, and it was a collaboration with Jawale as choreographer and director, and Urban Bushwomen, creating the spirit world of this piece, the ancestral world, the future world, and again, sort of a feeling of mythology and movement. And so we put our heads together and started thinking about Kimon. Who would Kimon be on the stage? What would make sense in this context with maybe 2 dancers from Urban Bushwomen? And we started thinking about the big David and Goliath story of our time, which is humans and earth. Who is David and who is Goliath in this struggle? And what would be Earth's perspective on this? So all of a sudden we thought, what if Kimon himself is Earth, weighing the good, the bad, the tipping point? When is enough enough? When is it over? When is there room for another chance? And also creatively, it fascinated me because I've inhabited many characters and many different situations and story worlds. For example, I've been in the creative, imaginative psyche, musical psyche of a Catholic nun and a murderer and families and a warden in Dead Man Walking. I've had to imagine the world of a one-legged sea captain Ahab and his crew on the Pequod, and there was an element of the natural world in that, which was water. I've done angels, demons, families, Broadway stars, all of these people that I've imagined, but I've never imagined what does it sound like and feel like dramatically and musically to be Earth at this particular moment in time. And so I got very excited about this idea, and everyone else did as well. So the collaboration became the Fort Worth Symphony with Robert Spano conducting and featuring wonderful, amazing Kimon Mura and two dancers from Urban Bush Women with a beautiful libretto that is still evolving as I compose by Anita Emirazvani and choreographed and directed by Jawale Zoller. Very exciting project called Earth 2.0, because Earth is really sort of in the balance wondering, when is enough enough? Looking at the beauty of everything in the planet, being angered that people would so take the jewel for granted that they'd think they could go to another planet and recreate it. All of the things that we're thinking about today, however you stand and however you feel about it, really weighing in from Earth's perspective. And so I'm just really thrilled to be here and to explore this possibility with all of you. This area is very, very important to me. I had a lot of wonderful experiences in Fort Worth with the Clyburn, with the Opera Company, and now with the Symphony, and I'm enormously grateful. So thank you for welcoming me in, and I will be seeing a lot more of you very soon. Thank you, Keith.
So we were delighted Jake made a special trip to be here with us for today, and we're also very grateful to the McDermott Foundation for generously underwriting this major world premiere. Our next symphonic program will take place on January 3rd, 4th, and 5th, 25, and will be conducted by the eminent conductor James Conlon. The program will include Mozart's Overture to Der Schauspieldirektor, Mozart's Symphony No. 40 in G minor, and Dvorak's exquisite Symphony No. 9 from the New World. On January 17th, 18th, and 19th, Principal Guest Conductor Kevin Aduse returns to conduct a program featuring our concertmaster Michael Shee and Principal Viola DJ Cheek in Mozart's Sinfonia Concertante. The program also includes Richard Strauss's tone poem Don Juan and Sibelius's magnificent Symphony No. 5. So now we're going to take a little break from the remarks for a couple of brief performances by Robert and those two players. We're going to start with our Principal Viola DJ Cheek and Robert performing None But the Lonely Heart by Tchaikovsky, arranged by William Primrose. So please welcome Robert and DJ. Thank you, Robert and GJ, for that beautiful performance. And our next solo artist really needs no introduction. Our wonderful concertmaster of many years, Michael Sheep, will perform meditations from Massenet's Thais. Please welcome Michael Sheep. Thank you very much, Michael, and Robert, for that beautiful performance, and also to our librarian who moonlights as our page turner here. So thank you. Christopher. So Robert, it's now your turn to introduce the final 3 programs on the Symphonic series.
These are all kind of monumental 3 in a row. We'll cap off our Stravinsky project of 3 years, having done the Firebird and Petrushka, now with the Rite of Spring. We've invited dancers that I've worked with many times over many years. Laurie Stallings is the choreographer, and her group Glow. Her moving artists are incredibly impressive. I've done the Rite of Spring with them in the past, but I was playing the piano. We were doing a version with 2 pianos and percussion, and we were part of the set. So it's the only time I've ever worn an animal head on my head. But it was quite an adventure. But I'm trusting her production of Rite of Spring to be quite stunning. Dr. Sereny and I were discussing, well, what do you do before the Rite of Spring? And then a light bulb went off in Keith's head, and it was, Rimsky-Korsakov was Stravinsky's teacher. And there's a wonderful book called The Russian Stravinsky by Richard Taruskin that compares all the things that Stravinsky was learning from Rimsky-Korsakov, even to the point of potential plagiarism. But seeing them side by side, you see this incredible influence that we don't often think of between the 2 composers. And it's always thrilling to do Scheherazade, especially with Michael Shee playing all those fantastic solos. That's in January, on January 31st, and then February 1st and 2nd. In March 14, 15, 16, we'll be doing Mahler's 9th Symphony. The Fort Worth Symphony Orchestra has a wonderful history of performing Mahler, and also with Mrs. Bass's immense passion for Mahler. She's always been very supportive of the symphony's engagement with Mahler's work, and this is his last big symphony, and it is one of the world's marvels, and I'm thrilled we'll be able to do it. And then in April 11, 12, 13, we'll finish off our 3-year Wagner project. We did last season big orchestral excerpts from The Ring, and we also did Tristan, and we had a wonderful concert of that. And then this year we'll be doing first act of Valkyrie coming up quite soon. And at the end of next season, it will be Flying Dutchman in a semi-stage production. We're fortunate that the cast is just fantastic. 2 that indicate what a great cast it is Greer Grimsley as the Dutchman and Heidi Melton as Senta. James Robinson, the wonderful stage director, will be creating a semi-stage production for us. So it's wonderful to bring our 3-year Wagner initiative to its close, as well as the Stravinsky cycle. So I'm looking forward to all of that, and the whole season. And thank you for being here. I'll turn it back over to Keith.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Robert. So those performances will be a truly spectacular finale to the 24-25 season. One of the things that I love working with Robert on is collaborations and reaching out to artists who have different locations they perform in, different kinds of perspectives, and I think the season is very reflective of that. I also want to announce our gala artist for the 24-25 season. On March 1, 2025, Robert will conduct the incomparable Joyce DiDonato, and given her incredibly busy schedule, we are really lucky to have her coming to Fort Worth. She's going to sing a range of operatic repertoire and styles accompanied by our extraordinary musicians. And included in the program will be an excerpt from J. Keggie's Great Scott, an opera I commissioned and produced when I was general director and CEO of Dallas Opera. She will perform the absolutely exquisite aria Si Son Io as part of the program, which he wrote for her for the premiere to showcase her magnificent bel canto singing. Subsequent to that premiere, she gave a stunning performance of this moving aria at Carnegie Hall for the Tucker Gala back in 2017, and she will be singing all sorts of other extraordinary works as part of that program. So moving now to the chamber music series, we have 3 exciting programs to announce featuring musicians of the orchestra, Robert, and occasional invited guests. Robert and I began the series in anticipation of his tenure as music director, and the series has generated sold-out audiences excited by the series' unique blend of seminal 20th and 21st century works performed side by side with established classics. On November 24th, we'll feature Schulhoff's advertisement for oboe, clarinet, and bassoon, as well as Korngold's piano trio Opus 1, which he composed when he was barely a teenager. The program also includes Mozart's Serenade No. 12 in C minor. Then in February 23rd, 25, the next installment of the series will feature Schoenberg's lush Verklärte Nacht, written before his pioneering work in 12-tone technique, as well as Maestro Spano performing Brahms's Piano Quartet No. 1 in G minor with members of the orchestra. And then on May 4th, 2025, we'll bring back pianist Peja Muzievich, joining Robert and Fort Worth Symphony musicians for a program including Mendelssohn's sumptuous octet in E-flat major and works by Barber, Debussy, and Amy Beach. And now a member of the Fort Worth Symphony's viola section, Joni Bashevsky, will introduce our family programming. Welcome, Joni.
I'm so excited to be here today to do this portion. In the 2024-2025 season, the Fort Worth Symphony will continue our wonderful tradition of producing family programs. Our new and our seasoned concert goers will experience the excitement of watching and listening to classical music as it is performed on stage live by the Fort Worth Symphony musicians. On October 19th, the Fly Dance Company presents Breakin' Classical. In this unique program, recommended for ages 3 to 10, hip-hop dancers will perform stunning break dance moves to set through classical music favorites. And I know for a fact that some unexpected things will happen on stage. I would watch for maybe some skateboards or two. On February 8th of 2025, the Fort Worth Symphony will present Mozart's Magnificent Voyage. This features Mozart's young son, Karl, who longs to escape from his boarding school and spend more time with his famous father. The program includes 23 excerpts from Mozart's most admired works, including music from the operas Don Giovanni, The Marriage of Figaro, and The Magic Flute. Then on May the 3rd, 2025, we will present Little Red Riding Hood on its storybook fairy tale series. All of these 3 concerts that I've mentioned today are presented in Bass Performance Hall and are a great way to introduce our newest and youngest members to the concert-going experience. As a longtime violist of the Fort Worth Symphony Orchestra, I would like to invite you, our musicians would like to invite you, our staff would like for you to come and listen and to see what is happening in these kinds of educational concerts. We want you to laugh when you want to. We want you to clap when you want to. And most of all, enjoy your time with the Fort Worth Symphony musicians live at Bass Hall. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Joni. So our next point of this presentation, I'm delighted to announce the appointment of Maestro Michel Di Russo as our new associate conductor, who will be conducting all of the family concerts and selected Pops concerts in the 24-25 season. This exciting addition to our musical family brings a wealth of experience on the podium and a passion for creating innovative education programs. Please welcome Maestra Di Russo to the stage.
Thank you, Keith. I'm truly excited to be joining this incredible organization, and I'm looking forward to getting to meet and to work with my new colleagues very soon. I will be making my debut on the Fort Worth Symphony Orchestra Pop Series on October 18 and 19, conducting a tribute show to the Kings of Soul, including Marvin Gaye, James Brown, Al Green, and The Temptations, just to name a few. Then on November 29 and 30, the Fort Worth Symphony Orchestra presents its popular Home for the Holidays, featuring soprano Jasmine Haversham and the Texas Boys Choir in a range of popular holiday tunes, carols, and musical numbers. On January 10 and 11th, on 2025, the Fort Worth Symphony Orchestra presents the Sci-Fi Symphony to our Pops audiences. This exciting program includes some of the greatest scores in sci-fi history, including Star Trek, Alien, Jurassic Park, The X-Files, Star Wars, and others. So be prepared to be transported to another world. Presenting the second half of our Pop series is our talented Fort Worth Symphony Orchestra's English horn player, Tim Daniels. And I know for a fact that he's looking forward to playing the very famous and beautiful English horn solo in Dvorak's New World Symphony on the Symphonic series that Keith and Robert announced earlier. Welcome, Tim.
Thank you, Michelle. On January 24th and 25th, 2025, the Fort Worth Symphony Orchestra presents Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark as part of its expanded Movies with Live Music offerings. This film introduced audiences all over the world to Harrison Ford as swashbuckling archaeologist and explorer Indiana Jones, and is accompanied by John Williams' rousing music. Our next Pop show will take place on February 7th and 8th, 2025, when the orchestra presents the official music celebration of the works of Tony Bennett, known for such timeless songs as I Left My Heart in San Francisco and Rags to Riches. Music Director Laureate Miguel Harth-Bedoya returns to the podium on April 4th and 5th to conduct the third installment of the Star Wars franchise, Return of the Jedi. The first two Star Wars programs have been extremely popular, so book early. Conducting Star Wars has long been on Miguel's bucket list, and we have enjoyed the journey to a planet far, far away. And now, the orchestra's longtime pianist, pre-concert Bach Tales host, and man around town, Buddy Bray, will announce the Pop specials. It's quite a lineup.
Thank you, Tim. In addition to our Symphonic and Pops series, which you've heard about, the Fort Worth Symphony will also present a range of offerings that we'll do for only one night, or in a couple of occasions for 2 nights. On August the 31st, we will open the season with our Stars of the Symphony concert. That's an initiative we started last year. This will be conducted by our current assistant conductor, Taichi Fukumura, and the program will feature 3 of our brilliant musicians. You just met one of them. Tim Daniels will play Sibelius, Swan of Tuonela, on the English horn. And also that evening, we will hear from our principal trumpeter, Kyle Sherman, and DJ Cheek, whom you heard from just a little earlier in the announcement today. It'll be a great way to start the 24-25 season. Then on November 2nd, as part of our expanded movie with live music lineup, we will present Tim Burton's classic, The Nightmare Before Christmas, thereby extending Halloween just a couple days. All right, then to get us into the holiday spirit, the Fort Worth Symphony will present Disney's Frozen in concert with live orchestra. This will be on December 13th and 14th, conducted by Diana Tam. Come revel in the beautiful musical numbers of this truly heartwarming tale. Probably some of you know a song from Frozen. On March the 8th, 2025, the Fort Worth Symphony will present the powerful movie Black Panther with live orchestra. This will be conducted by Anthony Panther with Masamba Diop performing live on the talking drum. And then on May 17th, we have another single night offering with Robert Spano conducting the orchestra in a special all Mozart concert, can't get better than that, at Arlington's new Visual and Performing Arts Center. The program will feature our colleague Stas Chernishev on the clarinet. He'll be playing Mozart's Clarinet Concerto, as well as the lively overture to The Marriage of Figaro and the Symphony number 39. That's a beauty. And now to wrap up today's presentation, we'll hear again from our president and CEO, Keith Cerny. Here he is.
Thank you, Buddy. The Fort Worth Symphony's Pop series is every bit as exciting as its Symphonic series, and all of us are looking forward to the first-run movies, immersive experiences, and quality tribute band experiences in store for our audiences. In closing, I want to thank all of you again for being here and our friends on live stream for today's announcement. We are very grateful to Chief Marketing Officer Carrie Elena Damien and the team from WFAA Channel 8 for putting together today's program and live stream event. All of the music programs that you've heard described today have been carefully selected to showcase the unique talents of our wonderful music director, our musicians, and to inspire and delight our patrons. In addition to the outstanding playing of our musicians and the leadership of our accomplished music director, Robert Spano, I am particularly proud of the many innovations the Fort Worth Symphony is bringing to programming, artistic collaboration, and audience experience. Renewals begin today, and single tickets will go on sale on July 10th. You won't want to miss a single concert. Thank you so much.